Yo, so this is the easiest way to sound design for most bass music, dubstep, drum and bass, all that stuff. This is kind of my bass recipe. So the first thing you're going to do is get the sub in the sub octave, so it's sitting at like 40 to 100 hertz or so. Usually I just pitch it down 3 octaves in the serum, and then I get the noise and run it into the tube distortion. You can basically get different tones by changing the level, the ratio of the sub and the noise into the distortion, and then now also with this tone. And this is kind of the easiest way to get, a foghorn kind of sustained sound. You can make it screechy. We've got this one that's kind of like the Must Die bass from one of his tracks, Kickback, I think. You can also adjust, the envelope. You can give it any shape that you want, really. Once you've got this bass layer, you just add the tone with the sine wave of the note that you want to hit, and then you can change it to make it, any envelope shape that you want. You can adjust the ratio of the noise to the tone. If you want to go for more of like that Space Laces dubstep crunchy kind of sound, you can just use the noise with the sub and get some cool results from that. But in my opinion, you can make 90% of the sounds that you need to just with the sub, the tone, and the noise all going through the distortion at varying ratios, and then changing the envelope to get so many different sounds. So I would encourage you to experiment and see what cool stuff you can make with this. This is like my go-to method in sessions to get stuff really quickly. You can make it a sustain if you want, make it a little bit of a longer envelope. We can go for a really short percussive sound if we wanted. Kind of a chunk. So it's good for big sustains, for wubbier type sounds. It's good for these tight little trap flute type sounds. You can also adjust the different notes. So you could go +7, you can adjust the octave. You can adjust, the different distortion types. You can adjust the amount of the distortion and get a lot of unique results. Again, adjusting the different levels of the different elements. So if the tone needs to be more colorful, I'll turn the tone up. If it's too harsh, I'll adjust how much noise is in there. You can see, get some really interesting results with the overdrive filter and some of the other distortion types. But tube is kind of that classic analog dubstep sound. From there, you can pretty much get it sounding pretty good in the mix with just some reverb and using the multiband OTT. That's pretty much all you need. And from there, it's just going back, adjusting the note that you want. You can go and you can add filters before or after the distortion. But when I'm making a sound for a drop or, a heavy part of the track, this is how I start 90% of my sounds. Obviously, there's different ways to sound design, but this is my bread and butter mostly. You can change also the different waves you use and get some interesting tones as well. trying some chords here by adding another tone in here, C. So yeah, you can get some interesting results by playing with two different waves of different notes. Even mixing two different shapes here. So that's basically it. Again, all of this is just a variation on this classic noise base, which is just the white noise and the sub going into the distortion. You can use this as a starting point for almost every other sound in modern bass music. So again, changing the subwave will give you different results. You can play with different stuff, get different sounds. Just take some time, play around with it. Next time you need to make a sound quickly, you know, try this. See if you make something cool, and if you do, you can send it to us in the Discord. So I hope this is helpful. If you need one-on-one help with your music, you can find a link for that in the description. You can go and join our free Discord. We have tons of free presets. You can get this preset in there, among others. This is Sonic Sorcery. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one.